Okay guys, it has been quite the whirlwind from the end of last year to now, which is why I haven't done a health update, but I'm going to dive into it as quickly as possible. So basically what I'm facing right now is next Friday I will be having a big surgery about my endometriosis. So I have been having endometriosis issues since I was like maybe 15 or younger. Sorry if you can hear my stomach. But it's been really bad. And everybody thinks that endometriosis is just like really bad cramps, and it's not. So I'm going to spare everybody the details of that. If you don't know what endometriosis is, please Google it, pause it now, Google it, and then come back and finish the video. But endometriosis is really some weird alien type shit because it grows like every time you have a menstrual cycle. It grows like a spider web outside of the uterus. You know, the lesions just kind of do this all over. And so far I've had 3 surgeries for the endometriosis. And everybody around here, I live in Tennessee, and everybody around here has done what's called an ablation, which is essentially where they just burn the top layer of the endometriosis that they can see. But kind of like a weed, if you don't get the root out, then the weed will just grow back. And there's not that many people or doctors that know how to like properly go in and like dig out the root. Because it's a very extensive process. It takes a lot of time, and you really have to know what you're doing in order to perform this type of surgery. And this is a type of surgery that involves literally going in and cutting out, like digging in and cutting out like the root source of the endometriosis stem. Now the endometriosis, or the endometrium endometriosis is just supposed to be a part of the endometrium lining. But when you have endometriosis, it grows outside of the uterus and then starts to attach to things outside of the uterus. So every time you have a menstrual cycle, it bleeds and it grows new adhesions. So I recently found a guy off of Nancy's Nook. And if you have endometriosis, I recommend that you go onto Nancy's Nook on Facebook and try to find a doctor, a specialist in your area that does endometriosis extraction, not ablation. Because ablation, you will have to go back like I have done. Like I said, I've had to do it 3 times where they've just burned it, and it lasts basically a year, and then the next year I'm like, okay, so I'm back in the same spot. The side effects of it, mainly for me, has been like really bad fatigue, really bad like water retention, really bad, obviously really bad cramps. I cramp basically about 2 weeks before my period, and then all while I'm on my period. So I really don't get that much of a break. They tried to use birth control for me, and I've been on birth control since I was 13, and it really, it's basically just a suppressant. It doesn't cure it, and it really doesn't postpone the growths of the adhesions very much. So last month in January, which seemed like the longest year ever, I say year because it seemed like a year, did it not? But anyways, last month I went and I met with he likes to call him, he's not a specialist, he's an endometriosis expert. And he just does this type of stuff like all day long, and people come from all over the world to see him to get his, to get this procedure done. Now, the thing about it is that like I'm getting ready to go into this surgery, not really knowing what the outcome is. So essentially when I went in to have my consultation with him, I told him my background, how many times I had a ablation surgery and what they found during that time. And basically they found endometriosis in other places, like on my small intestines. I've been complaining about upper left abdominal pain, and my gastrointestinal doctors, because I have Crohn's disease, they're like, oh no, it's not your Crohn's. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the ER, you know, with like stabbing in like upper left quadrant abdominal pain, and they just kind of, you know, so you guys know what I'm talking about with that. So finally, it just was a ping pong match between, oh, it's not your Crohn's, this is OBGYN related, this is your endo, this is not your endo. And so finally, when I sat down for my consultation with this doctor that's about to do my surgery next Friday, he said, yeah, that's a pretty good sign that, you know, you have it on your intestines. So I had a total colectomy back in 2015. So the only thing that I have left is my small bowel. So the fact that I have endometriosis on my intestines is really like, I don't know, kind of like nerve-rattling to me. I mean, it is what it is, but he said that what he's going to do is essentially go in there and, like sausages, kind of, you know, go through and look and find every single part of the endometriosis and extract it. And he said that he will have, you know, a gastrointestinal surgeon in there and a heart surgeon in there, because oftentimes it's on the diaphragm, which is why I've been complaining about really bad chest pain. So it's like, all this time I'm like, are you kidding me? So I have learned that endometriosis can grow and attach to basically anything from head to toe. So that's, I don't know, that's kind of like a little like alienish to me. But what got me was when he said, you probably be in the operating room from anywhere from 6 to 8+ hours, just as long as it takes until I find all of it. So I've never been in the ER or in the operating room for that long. So that's a little nerve-rattling, and I don't know how I'm going to come out of the surgery. You know what I'm saying? He said, you know, maybe depending on how much like resecting and cutting out on the intestines I might have to have like a temporary colostomy bag. Like I might have to have, you know, some chest stuff done. I have no idea. So that whole thing has just been kind of like been rattling my nerves really badly. Just because I don't know anybody else that's in the same situation as me with already having a total colectomy, and then, you know, this going on. And he said just by the fact that I have really bad pain whenever I'm on my period, like having a bowel movement, that is probably on, you know, my rectum. So it's like I am trying my best, but again, this is a situation kind of like when I had my total colectomy. I could not find any videos related to it, so I want to document as much as I can up until the point that I go into the operating room, and then after I have the surgery, just to kind of like give you guys kind of an idea of what it's like and what it has been like, and the whole process, and then you guys can see what I come out like. My biggest thing is that it's just a big question mark. I have no idea how I'm going to come out. I may come out with a temporary colostomy bag. I may come out with some like tubes all over me. You know, I don't know. And I think that's the biggest like unnerving thing about it. I don't say that I'm scared, because I know I'm in the best hands possible, but it's very unnerving. So my stress level has been incredibly high. I've been going to the bathroom like every hour on the hour, just because of the stress with the Crohn's and everything. So it's like I'm just exhausted. So if you guys haven't seen me much on here or on social media, that's why. I'm just kind of laying low, trying to coast through these you know, next 7 days to try to get through it all. Like I said, my surgery is on the 28th, so I'll let you guys know, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks, guys.